if we're not doing things that actually we're excited about doing, that don't deeply fulfill us, that we wouldn't teach our kids, what are we doing with our time? Life is short. What if instead of thinking about building a really amazing bulletproof network as the long way to build business, we had a way in which to do that in 6 months to a year?
Tell us about that. What is that way for 6 months to a year?
Yeah. So, and that's where influencers come in. And if you've grown a business, you're in the talent game. So we're all in the talent game, whether we like it or not, if you own your own company, right? And so we oftentimes think about talent as internal talent, the people we're hiring on. And we've all hired out of pain. We've all, found.
I thought I was the only one, Pat.
Yeah, there's two of us.
All right.
And you know how that goes. And sometimes you get lucky, but that's like a 1 in 20 lucky strike if you get lucky and find the right person. But until we're in the talent game and have a bench of talent, then you don't know if you've got the right people, when you don't know what the landscape looks like. The same is true for the people that you're networking with and trying to add value to and trying to connect with and trying to make connections for in the networking world outside of your business. So what if you had a way in which you could look at talent external to your business and know if they were the right fit for you or not? And so I introduce in the book a concept I call the influencer pyramid, because you're really looking for the influencers. And like a pyramid, at the top, you're looking for the people right at the top of the pyramid. And there's 3 ways that I like to think about this. One is as an agent in particular. And so the first thing I started looking for was people who spent much longer than the average person with their clients. So if other professionals are spending 30 plus days with their clients, they could potentially be an influencer for me. So I mentioned financial advisors were awesome. People who had insurance brokerages, frankly, almost any small business owner, because why? Because they have clients, yes, but they also have employees who they can put you in touch with, right? I realized, instead of going B to C, I wanted to go B to B, because those people, and it seems like the long route, but these B2B folks, they were putting me in touch with a ton of other people. At the top though, you got people who are clocking tons of hours.
All right.
At the top also, you have people who are building implicit trust, right? So because of the long hours, not everybody, by the way, who spends long hours also builds implicit trust, hopefully.
The good ones do.
The good ones certainly do.
Sure.
So then very high level trust versus a transactional trust at the bottom. And what I call in the book, a bonus level of trust. In real estate, it's really easy to get sort of faked out by the people who operate in that bonus level. And I know I've got a lot of friends who are in the industry, right? There's a lot of lenders, love lenders, but there are very few who sit at the top of the pyramid.
Okay. So
there are a lot of lenders.
So you got spending long time is the first. So the second is the implicit trust.
Yep, the impact of trust, and so you got to be there. And then your third, when you get all the way to the edge, is their approach to work. And I didn't appreciate this until I made a lot of mistakes. What I was looking for were people who had an ownership mindset. At the bottom of the pyramid, you have a lot of people who have sort of a Fred Flintstone mindset. Like, okay, they at the beginning of the Flintstones, they'd pull that whatever it was, pterodactyl, and it would scream, and Flintstone would like throw off his gear and jump in the car and go home because he couldn't wait, right?
Yeah.
And I want people who own the company. I want people who have an ownership mindset. And by the way, you can find people who are within companies who also have an ownership mindset. Obviously, if you're hiring talent, you want those people as well, internal. I remember a friend of mine who said, he landed one of the biggest accounts. He was in legal services, and he landed this account with one of the biggest firms in the DC area. And he said, I landed that account because I made friends with a lady at the front desk. And she knew if they had marital problems, she knew if they were still staying up late, if they had a big case to prep for. And they trusted her implicitly because she'd been there for 30 years and clocked a lot of hours and owned her role. And she made sure that he got introduced to every single partner in that firm.
Okay.
So she was an influencer for him. And it's a really efficient way to build a business, because if you know who those handful, 5-6 people are at the top of your pyramid, and you invest into them on a weekly basis, you can spend the rest of your time growing your team, spend time with your family.